Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello there. From understanding the nature of different mediums and the historical development of them, learning about the basics of film grammar to the rules of composition, interesting exercises in sound to the different camera distances, viewpoints, movements, and the different stages of production. I'm sure that the journey so far must have been a roller coaster ride. Hi, I am Saleem Javed, and you are with me on a journey where we are learning about different aspects of mass communication and exploring some of the areas which will help you understand the world of audio and visual in a better way. We have tried our best to simplify the concepts by bringing in examples and exercises. We will be doing the same in our upcoming videos, and we are very hopeful about it. In this 10th video in the series, in this particular video, we together will explore the roles and responsibilities of different personnel who are involved in the process of filmmaking, documentary filmmaking, television production, or in any other audiovisual format. Now, so let's start. No film, no television program, no documentary or any other audiovisual format ever gets made without a producer. Today, we will learn about different producer titles in film and television industry. Who is a producer? First, let's talk about film producer or film producers, and then we will talk about different television producer and producers. As far as the film is concerned, defining the role of a producer may not be as straightforward as it might first appear. It is perhaps easier to understand the role of a director, writer, DOP. The producer is a person who is visionary, loves the images and stories, and makes a business out of it. Though many of them have never been to a film school, but the acute business sense and flash forward about the project makes them a unique individual. They can look at a script or just by weighing it can tell how much this story is going to cost, meaning what is the budget of the film. Producer may themselves have some idea, or the producer, he or she, knows a writer who has got a good story. Now, this person is sure that it can be a profitable commercial venture. So, if he or she has got money, the production is on. Or in case if he or she doesn't have money, they know whom to approach and where to find money. A producer is the one who assembles the army of creative people and technicians and attaches the big name with the project. He or she is the one who tries to make the project creatively and commercially more viable. He or she can be a first-time producer who has been in some other business and wants to try out and taste the world of glamour, or someone, suppose a EP has approached him with a viable commercial option, or they may come from a long line of family business, from the family business, filmmaking business itself, or they are money people and genuinely wants to make a good film. They may come from any walk of life. A producer is one who can invest the seed money at his or her own seed money, or can loan it from a bank or a private money lender. If he or she has been a regular independent producer, chances are that some studio may extend the support for a particular project, but it solely depends on the performance of his last project or last few projects. The producer's role is challenging, a constant battle to remain faithful to the world of moving images and battling against the constraint of time and money. He or she is, technically speaking, is a driving force behind the project. Now, after producer, let's talk about executive producer. As I promised you in the last video, if you look at the proper description of executive producer, it's an important part of producer's team. They are the one who knows how to meander in the world of movie money to secure the investor, be that financier or some company or government tax incentives or some studio deals. But in India, executive producer is someone who knows how a film is made and sold, but does not have the money. In Indian scenario, it is producer who has got the money, his own, or he has borrowed it from some other source, and an executive producer is hired by the producer to make it happen. If the producer is a regular producer, then he or she can have one or two executive producer to handle the different projects that are going on simultaneously. In case of a film, in case if he is a first time producer, the role of the executive producer becomes crucial, and he and she is now responsible from the inception to the release of the film. Among many duties of the executive producer, one of the main responsibilities of the executive producer is to introduce the producer to the investor and closing the deal with the investor. It is up to the investor whether he or she is only interested in return in terms of the financial commitment, or do I get a credit kind of a thing. If you decide to take the financer as a co-producer, chances are that you are actually sweetening the deal. Oh, as far as this executive producer title is concerned, if you remember in the last video, I promised you showing 100% legal contracts. So I fulfill my promise and show you some of the 100% legal contracts on which you can actually hire anyone in India. Anyone. I am talking about any actor in India, any director in India. So a contract basically comes in two shapes. One, something like this, is basically on a notary, where you have 100 rupees notary, and it is basically made by a lawyer, but the content which is there is basically provided by me. So you either can have it on a notary, or you can have it on basically the letterhead of the production company. Now both are 100% legal. It depends on the nature of the company, what kind of company that is. But if it is on the letterhead of the company and that company is registered, it's a legal document. It's 100% legal document. So this is basically of this contract is of a director, and this contract is of a very big actor. That's why it's on this. So basically, the contracting is an integral part of production now. And if you have contract, it's basically 100% legal now. So you can actually hold anyone responsible for not fulfilling the job. And to have the knowledge how to make contracts, there are many contracts available in market. If you go to any website and see the contract of a music director or the contract of an actor, the kind of contracts you see, those kind of a contract has got many legal loopholes. Like I just read out something from the director's contract, and you will understand what kind of a language is written in this. So the engagement, so the title in this contract is engagement. So the director is an experienced creative consultant and has approached the producer to offer specialized direction services for the producer's feature film in Hindi language, presently tentatively titled as so and so. I am not reading out the name of the film of which this is the contract. Hereafter referred to as the film constituting a cinematographic film for the purpose of the Copyright Act 1957, which the producer has agreed to and hereby engages, and the director who accepts such engagement upon the terms and conditions herein contained. Director may have to collaborate or individually conceptualize the visual content of the film and interpret the script and other film material to be exhibited in connection with the commercial exploitation of the film, and work towards achieving producer's demand and artistic and creative expression. The director shall assist with production planning and consult on logistics. Director shall also render services in connection with the audition, rehearsal, production, post-production, photography, trailer, promotional, hereafter collectively referred to as content, and otherwise in connection therewith, until producer secures a fully edited composite print thereof of any format ready for its commercial exploitation / release thereof satisfactory to producer. Now this is only a small only a very small part I have read, and I'm sure if you really have to understand it, you really have to rewind it, and then you really have to see what I'm saying. So it is, if I can show you, it's like basically such a small printout, such a small font size. It's so small font size, and this contract is like how long is that? How many pages are there? Around 8 or 9 pages are there, or of same font size. And interestingly, now let me read another section from an actor's contract. So what is the background of the contract? So it says, company intends to produce a theatrical motion picture for its theatrical exhibition and other commercial exploitation. The actor is a well experienced person having acted in stage plays, motion pictures, television broadcasts, etc., and being adept at interpreting dramatic characters, has approached the producer to perform as an actor and render services to the company not limited to and immediately in respect of the producer's Hindi feature film tentatively titled so and so, I am not telling you the name, for the consideration and upon the terms subject of the conditions set out in this agreement which the producer has consented to. Now that's what, if you remember in the last video I said, when you basically sign your contract, it's for everyone, because you will be going in market and signing these contracts. If you remember, I said in the last video that when you sign the contract, you don't see it. It's good time, it's happy time, you don't see it. But When you become a professional in your life, as soon as you become a professional, you'll be going through these contracts. Like I have got different contracts. It's of DOP. It's of art director. This is of line producer. So there are basically like everybody is contracted. When you make a film or when you go and act in television also you have contracts, and when you go and join, you sign your joining letter, there are terms and conditions, so that is also a contract. Before you sign anything, this is a piece of advice, before you sign anything in your life, and especially in your professional life, read that carefully. Because as I read these two paragraphs, sometimes it becomes very difficult to understand. That's what, when I teach in classes, this is one of the area where I really focus very much, and I ask students, my students, to really pay attention to what you are signing for. I tell you an incident. It's basically in the public domain, and I will not take names and I'll tell you the details. A very big music company today is a music company, the kind of a music company it is today is only on the basis of these contracts. Like suppose you are a singer and I ask, and you come to me and I say, all right, suppose your name is Mohan and you are a good singer. So Mohan, you are a brilliant singer, and you will record your first song with me. And here is the check of 50,000 rupees. What will you do? You will immediately grab that 50,000 because recording of the first song, okay? And they are giving you 50,000 rupees also. So you immediately accept that check and you sign that, and yes, I'll be recording my first song with this particular company, which is a huge company. Everything is fantastic. Trust me, for many singers, that first song never happened. Because unless until you do not finish this first song, you cannot go for other songs. What will you do if somebody steals your story? What will you do if you have worked really hard and you do not have credit in the product, be that film, documentary, television show, and any form of audiovisual content? What will you do? So for that, when you're signing the only remedy is, when you're signing the contract, read it, and read it very carefully. In this way, you have a co-producer on board too, and in case if the financier has not asked for any credit, you as a producer can oblige him by giving him or her a title of associate producer. Now, let's talk about line producer. As per paper description, he and she is the one who knows how to make film. But again, in Indian context, it's not the job description. In India, a line producer is being approached by the producer or executive producer. They are hired as per the location. So for North India, there is one line producer, and for South India, there is another line producer. A line producer has got a team which has members like location manager, transport manager, and many runners. Runners are also known by the name of production assistant. These line producers are the one who are responsible for providing locations and securing the required permission from the government bodies and local authorities. Local support system for a particular location like food, boarding, lodging, and below the line members and calling below the line members are also the responsibility of the line producer in India. The next job title is creative producer. The post of creative producer emerges in case if the producer is not being able to fulfill the job. This person is creative, organized, and well connected and understands, well connected in industry and understands all aspects of production from development to final edit. Now, the next title is Impact Producer. This is a specific role more often for documentary film which has a mission or a message and wants to effect change, whether this is raising awareness or inspiring some action. He or she is instrumental in defining the film message. They are also known by the name of outreach or community engagement consultant or strategist. After this film and documentary, let's talk about the world of television producers. First in the list is assistant producer. An assistant producer is the one who works closely with the producer both editorially and creatively. The assistant producer can often play a key role conducting much of the hands-on kind of a shooting, scripting, editing of the programming of the program content. Now, next in the series is program producer or series producer. He or she has overall business sense like budgeting, contracting, and creative also like script and editing and quality management responsibilities of the program. Now, again, in television also we have line producer. So line producer is basically works in a film or television drama. They are hired at the end of the production period. They are hired at the stage of the development of the production period and to manage below the line budget and are responsible for hiring the crew in case if they are not brought in by the film or television crew. Now, the next job title is edit producer. Now, who is edit producer? Edit producer is usually employed on series or game shows or reality shows. They oversee the editing stage of product. They need to have a strong storytelling and scripting skills and be able to weave several parallel storylines into the program. Next in the series is studio producer. Now, he or she works with a television studio with presenters and has gallery or transmission experience. Their job is to see the content of the program, ensuring that the overarching concept, tone and style of the program is being delivered in a rightful manner. Then the next job title is development producer. While he or she generates and develops ideas into script, proposals and program formats, these projects are then pitched to television companies and other sources of finance. In television again you have executive producer. Well, they tend to oversee several projects in different stages of production, often at the same time. They liaison or they liaise closely with the program producer, broadcasters or commissioning bodies. They are involved in all aspects of business and management of the production. The next job title in the series is field producer. In a film, he or she, in a film or television program, he or she is the person who assists the producer in production that takes place in non-studio setting. In television, a video producer who works remotely to assist in the production of a piece of an overall production. Next in the series is showrunners. They are basically television producers who have an overall creative vision for a series and who have authority and management responsibility over the various directors who have been hired for specific episodes. Now, this was all about producers, film and television. Now, from the producer world, let's move to the world of writers. Now, who is a writer? A writer is the one who writes the story of a film. He or she can also write the screenplay of the same story or dialogue of the same story, but they can also be three different people. In two of our coming videos, we will be exploring the world of film writing, short film writing, documentary writing, and television serial writing. In those videos, we will learn how we can create a situation and how we can make it more impactful. With the medium, only the format of writing changes, but the core remains the same. We will be exploring news writing when we will be starting our journalism part in coming videos too. Now, so he's a writer. Now, let's talk about script supervisor. He or she is the one who takes care of the continuity in a full-length feature film. They are the one who are responsible to keep a tab on whether what has been in the screenplay has actually been delivered by the respective actor or not. And if it has been delivered, then whether it has been delivered exactly or not. Was there any improvisation in dialogue or not? If yes, then it is the responsibility of the script supervisor to note that change in his screenplay and give it to director or chief assistant director before leaving the project. Script coordinator. The first draft of a screenplay is never complete and final draft is a misnomer. So there are multiple drafts in between. Script coordinator manages each draft and decoding it for all the crew members. Story producer. This term is related to television industry. He or she is the one who bears the overall thematic and story arc responsibility across episodes, either to maintain the episodic graph via editing or in case of other entertainment formats like live show through source footage. Also, they are the last man standing who bear the pressure of raising TRP via story devices. Now, the next job title is songwriter. Everybody knows about songwriter. So, songwriter is the one who writes the lyrics of a song. Song makes our film industry unique and grants a distinct identity to our Indian film industry. Sahid Rudhyanvi, Shailendra, Majroor Sultanpuri, Shakil Badayuni, Gulzar, Javed Akhtar, Sameer Anjan, Prasun Joshi, Irshad Kamil, Amitabh Bhattacharya are some of the famous Hindi lyricists of our country. A director is called the captain of the ship named film. He or she is the one who leads the creative and aesthetical side of the filmmaking process by actualizing the words from pages to making them into moving images on silver screen and creating a sense of believability by guiding the actor's performance along with his valuable or her valuable inputs in all the departments. So he or she has a great say in each and every department involving in the filmmaking process. The entire film is a director's vision. First assistant director. He or she is the one who is ultimately responsible for the scheduling of the film. First assistant director or the first AD works in liaison with production manager and director because he or she is head and responsible for the scheduling. So it becomes very important for him or her to maintain a conducive working environment for all the crew members. Second assistant director. He or she is responsible for creating and delivering a call sheet to all the crew members and their HODs on a daily basis. The daily call sheet, which is prepared by second assistant director as it is one of his major responsibilities, gives an idea to all the production team about all the important details of next day's shoot. Third assistant director. He or she is the one who moves the second and third line of actors from unit base to the set. They are the one who are responsible for managing crowd as per the scene requirement and manage one or two assistants from production department also. Now you can have many production assistants, like you can have fourth also, fifth also, sixth also. So what these people do, they basically they work in liaison with some specific department. Now, when you are talking about director, let's talk about casting director also. Casting director's job is the job to know a lot of actors, so that they can advise and present to the director the best of the existing possibility. In this case, we are talking about actor. Therefore, it is the casting director's responsibility to delicate balance of showcasing the actors as per director's, producer, sensibility, taste and expectation. Now, casting director also has got a lot of people, so he has casting associate. So basically, casting associates are the second chain in command in a casting business. Once a casting associate has worked for 2 years in the field of casting, they can apply for membership in different casting societies in India. Next, in the casting department, the next job title is casting assistant. This is an entry level position in the field of casting. These people go above and beyond the call of duty and typically work as an office assistant also. They do everything from conveying phone calls to make copies, setting up auditions and equipment, etc. Now, in the same series, we are talking about interns in casting director. A key intern will work with many busy casting directors, sorting mails, help actors to sign in and keep the flow of the actor going in and out when the casting is going on. There are readers in casting director in casting direction department. This person reads all the characters line opposite to actor who is auditioning. Now, when we are talking about casting director, there can be another casting director like background casting director. If the casting director, the first we were talking about and his department, if the first casting director is a big name and has roped in big actors with the project, then you hire another person responsible for booking all the background artists, extra performers, stand-ins and photo doubles. Now, after this casting direction department description, let's move in front of the camera. Now, let's talk about actors. Now, let's talk, the first in the series is lead actor or actress, whom we call hero or heroine in normal life. In India, they are the selling point for a film. If your film has A-list actors, consider the release of your film and it's not a problem. Lead actor charges as per their brand value, and they're called protagonist also, and typically it is the largest role in the film. Next in the series is supporting actor and actresses. They are the brothers, sisters, mother, father, friend and foes of the protagonist. A speaking role that is less than that of a lead actor but bigger than the bit part. There is something called principal actors too. A principal actor is a performer who has got some decent number of lines. Bit part, a role in which there is a direct interaction with principal actor but does not have more than 5 lines. Now, photo doubles or body doubles. An actor who resembles a principal actor who is used to perform on camera in place of a person. So you replace the actor, so like OTS kind of a shot, to piche se dikha diya and ho gaya. And then you have stunt actors also. If you have seen this film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, so they are basically trained to perform in front of the camera. So body double was there in Once Upon a Time. Now you have background or extra performers. They are basically non-speaking role. If you remember, I explained about this in the last video where I gave you the example of Jiski Biwi Lambi Uska Bhi Bada Naam Hai. So I gave you the example of that. Now next in the series is basically stand-in. Now, a background or extra performer who is used as a substitute for the principal actor for the purpose of setting up the upcoming shot. This allows the director or the director of photography to set the light and rehearse the movement that will take place in front of the camera later. Understudy, next job title is understudy, a performer hired to do a role only if the feature actor is unavailable to perform, used primarily in theatre. Now, after the actors, now let's talk about the person who captures them amazingly on screen. We are talking about DOP, Director of Photography. DOP and cinematographer, the two interchangeable terms, though there is a huge difference between the two, but both are the one who heads the camera and lighting department on a film set. Director of photography is responsible for the visual execution of director's imagination and expectation. Camera operator. He or she is the one who operates the film camera on behalf of DOP, but at many sets, especially in medium and low budget film, the DOP also operates the camera. Now, same in the list is first assistant camera. A film is shot with variety of lenses and mainly with prime and block lenses, and also sometimes with varying focal length lens also. In a situation like this, focus becomes a crucial factor. First assistant camera, or the first AC, is responsible for sharp focus unless you are going for a rack focus. Now, in the same list, we have second assistant camera. As sound is recorded separately on a film set, the clapboard becomes an essential item in this process. The second assistant camera, or the second AC, gives clap at the beginning of each shot, which is recorded in camera and on separate sound device simultaneously for further use, and he or she also oversees the logbook. The next job title is loader. As digital camera has taken over, so this job title is a rarity. They basically used to load the film when the physical film was there. Camera production assistants are usually a trainee in the camera department. Digital imaging technician, or DIT. As cinema has gone digital, the internal working of digital camera on set is one of the major responsibilities of DIT. Next in the list is data wrangler. Data wrangler. People often confuse between DIT and data wrangler. If we are dealing with data, it means that we are dealing with digital camera. The transfer of data from camera to the hard drive is the sole responsibility of data wrangler. Steadicam operator. It is a kind of metal jacket to which a camera is attached to. The person who is skilled in handling camera on his body with this jacket on is called Steadicam operator. Motion control technician, or motion control operator. With the advent of newer technologies in handling the film camera, it gives variety of camera movements. The technician operating this particular camera control rig in the camera robotics, which is able to give special camera movements, and it creates a great effect. Video split, or assistant operator. When there is a special simultaneous out taken for director to see the visuals on monitor to watch each shot, it is all done with video split. Gaffer. He is the chief lighting technician. His responsibility includes the understanding of light design prepared or instructed by DOP and the execution of it also. The entire lighting department comes under him. Best boy electrical. The main assistant to gaffer is called best boy. Lighting technicians. They are known by the name of lighting men on set and are responsible for the physical installation of light as per the light design directed by the DOP. Next list of personnel is of grip. They are the people who are trained rigging and special lighting artisan. Key grip. The key grip is responsible for all the activities related to lighting and camera movement on set. It means that he works closely with DOP and gaffer. They are not in the business of putting the lights, but in controlling the light. Best boy grip. Just like the best boy electrical, We have best boy grip. He is the main assistant to key grip. Dolly grip. A dolly is more than a plank to which four wheels are attached, and it can be hydraulic in nature also. It runs on a laid track on leveled ground. The dolly grip is responsible for pushing in and pushing out and sideways along with the character or revealing the movement. In this entire movement, the camera operator or camera assistant is handling the camera on it. Now let's move to the world of sound. This domain is headed by sound recordist, and it is about dual system sound recording. He or she is responsible for all the sounds that are going to occur in a shooting process. It is about the type of microphones that we are going to use in a particular situation and about the sound recorder. It is about capturing the signals in real time. Boom operator or boom swinger. Have you ever seen a gun mic poking in the frame? Maybe not, because boom operator places the mic on a boom pole just on the edge of the frame while recording the best possible sound and without disturbing the frame or the actors. Now, after these, let's talk about very important person, and he is the production designer. Basically, a production designer heads the three departments simultaneously: art, makeup, and costume. These departments are ultimately responsible for the look and feel of the film. Let's understand these departments separately. Art director. He or she is the one who gives a physical shape to sets or arranges the location, maybe a house as per the need of the script. He or she heads a battalion of artists along with different craftsmen. Set designer. He or she deals with the inside and outside of the architectural aspect of the set design. Illustrator. From mind to the piece of paper. This is the journey of an illustrator. He or she is responsible for etching the imagined things on paper. Set decorator. As the name suggests, he or she is responsible for embellishing the set along with taking care of the setup properties on a film set. Buyer. He or she is like the runner from the production department. He or she is responsible for all the purchases and renting for the art department. Set dresser. If your location suits architecturally but not thematically, set dresser will come to rescue you. What will be the part of background setting is his or her area. Props master. There is a huge difference between what is part of the set and props. He or she manages these props on sets. Standby props. He or she is a kind of an assistant to prop master on set and takes care of the props in use while maintaining the continuity, or we can say maintaining the desired continuity of props during the production. He or she is responsible for bringing in and moving out of the props on set. Props builder. From construction of laser light to the wang sound, props builders are good with electronic, mechanical, molding of any kind and construction of props required for any sort of film. Armorer. All the guns and cannons that we see on that big screen, well, they have it all for you. They deal with the firearms. Construction coordinator or construction manager. As the job title suggests, he or she is into hiring construction crew for a film set. It can be a laborer to the painter or carpenter. He or she supplies the construction of set. Key scenic. He or she is about the texture of anything that exists on set, from aging to gilding, from wooden surface treatment to metal effect. They do it all for your film on set. Greenspan. All the greenery or scenery that you see within the frame, it's all comes under him or her. Next job title in the series is Swing Gang. In the filmmaking, a swing gang is the one or more people who make last minute change on a film set. Directed by the lead men. They are directed by a title called lead men. The swing gang is responsible for moving furniture, dressing props and other set decorations on and off the set. The swing gang is basically the part of the set dressing department. Makeup artist. It depends what kind of a project you are working on. If it is a normal kind of a project, then it is simply simple makeup and hairdo, and if it is a major project, then along with its routine responsibility, it is about prosthetic and special makeup, which has the ability to transform the normal person into a doll or an alien. Now next department in the series is hairdresser. If you require a specific kind of hair styling to convey some specific meaning, or you have a period film, then you can have it as a separate department. The hairdo of all the people that appears on screen has to go through the combo of a hairstylist. They are with or many times under makeup department. In pre-production stage, the initial breakdown is provided by the production department. As different personnels are hired for their specific department, they again sit down with the script and do the script breakdown as per their own department specification. Now, next department is costume department. You must have heard about costume designer. So the job title is costume designer. The duties of a costume designer is to determine costume needs of the production, for which he or she breaks down the script and costume plots. He or she is responsible for sketches, rendering of the costume, clarifies and assigns duties to all the costume department personnel, attend production meetings, determines visual look, concept of costume in conjunction with the producer, director, production designer, art director and director of photography. A costume designer can have a lot of people under him or her. So the next job title in the series is assistant costume designer. They assign and is responsible to costume designer. They do script and costume breakdown, assist in drawing up the department budget, does needful costume research, may select and organize costume for secondary players or for extras with the approval of designer, and acts as a liaison with different departments on set. Then you have costume supervisor, responsible to the designer, obviously, assist in establishing budget, oversees expenditure and all related paperwork, sets up and supervises workshop, and is responsible for rental inventory, organizing background performers fitting, and again also responsible for establishing the connection with other department. Then the next job title, costume supervisor. The duties are basically to act as a costume designer's representative on set, and he or she is in charge of the costume when they arrive on shooting set. Make sure that the costumes are prepared and worn as per the designer's wish, and oversees the layout of the costume in a camera ready condition, and also supervises on set costume personnel and maintains the costume continuity also. Then you have background costume coordinator. He or she works as a liaison to the assistant director to determine all the requirements, selection and organizing costume for background performers with approval from costume designer. Then the next job title is cutter. Again, the duties are they are responsible for fabrication patterns, cutting, fitting, and construction of costume from specific design for some specific requirement, or the sketches provided by the costume designer. The cutter determines the and trims for the costume, may assist in selecting material and supervises costume construction also. Then next in the series is breakdown artist or dyer. The duties are that they dye, they paint and distress fabric and costume garments as designated by the costume designer. Then next job title is truck costumer. Duties are basically organizing supplies of maintaining the truck in orderly fashion, maintain costumes in a camera ready condition, including laundry, dry clean, aging and necessary breakdown as required. Does costume layout, he or she does costume layout and wrap, and has a working knowledge of script breakdown and continuity systems. Next in the series is costume buyers. A buyer is basically responsible for purchasing the material and costumes, establishes and maintains a good relationship with the vendor, obviously because he has to buy so that he can return unused clothes in a professional and timely manner. Then you have costume assistant. He basically works for anyone in the hierarchy with anyone and all aspects of prep and shoot, shopping, swinging, costume breakdown, dyeing, pressing, steaming, laundry and dressing background performers also. Now the next title is seamster and seamstress, and interestingly they are tailors. So the tailor duty, so the responsibility of them is basically fitting, altering and construction of costumes and as assigned by the costume designer or the cutter. So from the world of production, now move to the world of post-production. So when we talk about post-production, the first name comes in the mind is editor. So let's talk about a film editor. A film editor must be technically and creatively sound. Editing is often called the invisible art because most of the editor creates a seamless finished product with no hiccups. The film editor's job is to join various shots and make a scene out of it and eventually the entire film. From assembly cut to rough cut, from rough cut to fine cut, and then from this fine cut to final cut. These are the stages how a film is being finalized throughout different cuts. A film editor works closely with the director and tries to realize the vision of the director. It is an old adage of film world that films are made and destroyed on editing table. Assistant editor. He or she is the one who is responsible for sorting all the OK takes from the logbook. In many projects, the editor now stays on set as the shoot goes on and do the assembling of OK takes place on that particular day or on that particular night. In case of a big editor, the work is done on set by the assistant editor. Negative cutter. In case of physical film used in the shooting process, once the film is processed, he or she is responsible for assembling the negative for the printing process. Colorist. He or she is the one who with color correction adjusts the tone of the scene or entire film as per the mood of the film to achieve greater consistency. Offline editor for video production. He or she works closely with the director to assemble the various shots into a coherent film. Online editor for video production. Now, he or she deals with the live situation of shooting and makes sure about the broadcast delivery standard. From editor, now let's move to the world of sound and music. Now, the job title is sound designer. He or she is responsible for creating the sound world of the film. They are the one who makes it a believable and natural world on the flat screen where we are lost for a few hours. If you remember in the last in 8th video, in video number 8, where we talked about the importance of appropriate sound, 3 types of sound: human voice, music and sound effect, and how the silence is the absence of sound, the difference between sound and voice, terms like 3 P's that are called the life of sound, like production, propagation and perception, fidelity, parallel sounds and contrapuntal sounds, synchronous and asynchronous sound, diegetic and non-diegetic sound, etc. They all come to play here and are practically used. A sound designer contributes towards uplifting the entire film through sound in post-production process. Dialogue editor. He or she is the one who specializes in synchronizing the audio file with the OK takes. Sound editor. He or she is the one who specializes in putting and appropriating the sound effect as per the shot and scenes. Re-recording mixer. He or she is responsible for balancing all kind of sounds that are prepared by all the people dealing with sounds like dialogue, music, sound effect, etc. Music supervisor. This position is everywhere, be that film, television, video games, online content, theater or animation, to meet the need of music as per the project, be that musical licensing or negotiating for it. He or she is the one who works as a liaison officer between creator and the buyer. Composer. He or she is the one who makes tunes with some musical instrument or without it, maybe only by humming also. The melody is his or her forte. Foley artist. When you pluck a hair from your head, do you hear any sound? No, we do not. But someone who creates it, it is the one who is a Foley artist. He or she is the one who creates these wonderful sounds. A Foley artist invents the sound effects that are dubbed onto the visual. A Foley stage is the workshop where they create different kind of effects for the recording. Now, from editor, let's move to visual effects supervisor. The process of creating visual effects is long, challenging and very technical. Teams are large and are very diverse, which means there are opportunities for all type of people, ranging from hardcore coders through to illustrators and non-artists. As visual effects are getting sophisticated day by day, so there are many conventional and non-conventional departments that are getting merged in it. There are many departments which are earlier were the part of some other department, but now are gradually become the part of the visual effects. For example, the Department of Lighting has merged with VFX, and the state of the role of visual effects supervisor, he or she leads the department. Compositor. Compositor is the last stop in VFX route. They are the one who are responsible for the final look of the film. Roto or paint artist. In After Effects, go to animation and track in Mocha AE. Press the head for button and all the hard work will be taken care of. You can also mask away the character or an object out of your shot. Matte painter. Matte painters create an illusion of the environment which is not present on set or on the location. Still, there are so many departments left, like action director and his team, choreographer and his or her team, the entire section of food, travel and lodging, the world of spot boys and actress boys, the web developers, the accountants, the legal team, the production office people, and so much more. If you genuinely want to know about all the personnel related to film and their roles and responsibility, trust me, it can take months. What I have just explained in this video is not even 10% of their responsibility, and I have just tried to explain some of them in this video. I hope that the information provided in this video will come handy whenever you need it. And I'm sure that this video must have solved many of your doubts too. I look forward seeing you in the next video. Till then, take care and stay safe.